Breaking news! Just confirmed by the Baltimore Ravens. I'll tell you everything that happened here. But before we jump into today's exciting news, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest Ravens updates. You don't want to miss a thing this season, especially with news like this. Alright, let's talk about our guy, Justice Hill. The Ravens just signed him to a 2-year, $6 million extension, as reported by NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. That's huge for a player who has quietly been grinding it out and proving himself on both offense and special teams since being drafted in the 3rd round in 2019. Justice Hill was set to become a free agent after this season, but instead, he's staying right here in Baltimore where he belongs. And honestly, Ravens fans, I love this move. He may not always be in the spotlight, but he's been solid, reliable, and versatile, qualities that are sometimes even more valuable than flashy stats. Over his career, he's racked up 959 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns, averaging a solid 4.6 yards per attempt. He's also racked up nearly 600 kick return yards, averaging 23.7 yards per attempt. But here's the thing, Hill has always been behind bigger names like Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and now even Derrick Henry. Despite that, the Ravens clearly see more in him than just his numbers. Coach John Harbaugh has even said that Hill has evolved into a starting caliber running back in the NFL, and that's no small compliment. Harbaugh mentioned that Justice Hill's role may be overshadowed by Derrick Henry's power running style, but Hill brings something different, a quick, elusive style that complements Henry perfectly. Coach Harbaugh highlighted how crucial Hill was during the AFC Championship game and said he expects him to see plenty of playing time this season. That's exactly what you want to hear about a player who just signed an extension. He's not going to sit on the bench. He's going to make an impact. Hill himself has been nothing but humble about the journey. He knows that every player's path is different, and while he hasn't been a flashy starter right away, he's consistently worked on his game and earned the respect of his coaches and teammates. You just work hard, you just enjoy the process, Hill said when asked about his new deal. He understands that his role is vital to the team, even if the stats don't always show it. Ultimately, Ravens fans, this extension is more than just a financial deal. It's a testament to the value of a player who's willing to put in the work, play his role, and be a team-first guy. We all love big plays, but sometimes it's the consistent contributors like Hill that keep the engine running. Now, what do you guys think? Are you excited to see Hill back for the next 2 years? Do you think he'll see even more playing time alongside Derrick Henry? Now, there are rumblings that the Ravens might be eyeing a big move in the trade market. According to ESPN's Dan Graziano, the Baltimore Ravens could be one of the teams looking to trade for veteran cornerback Jonathan Jones from the New England Patriots. Now, this isn't set in stone, but if the Patriots' season continues to spiral, Jones might end up on the trading block, and Graziano says the Ravens would love to bring him in. Now, why would the Ravens go after a quarterback like Jones? At first glance, it seems like we've already got plenty of depth in the secondary. But after the first couple of games, our passing defense hasn't been what it was last year. Remember, last season we had one of the best units in the league, but we struggled a bit to keep up that same level of dominance early on this year. Adding a guy like Jonathan Jones, a 2-time Super Bowl champion with 9 seasons under his belt, could give our defense the boost it needs. Jones is a proven playmaker, with 11 career interceptions, 9 forced fumbles, and 2.5 sacks. He started 14 games for the Patriots last season and had a solid grade of 76.5 from Pro Football Focus, which shows just how consistent he can be. Plus, let's not forget his leadership and experience, exactly the kind of presence that could help stabilize the secondary, especially when it comes to crucial games down the stretch. That said, it's not a done deal, and it's important to remember Jones is in the final year of his contract, carrying a $12.5 million cap hit this season. So, it's unclear what it might cost the Ravens to land him. And here's the thing, given our offensive line struggles, plus the potential need for more wide receiver or pass rush help, is another cornerback really the top priority? That's the big question right now. But hey, what do you all think? Should the Ravens go after Jonathan Jones, or focus on shoring up other positions? Alright, let's get into the latest from practice. There's some good news and a little bit of concern as we get closer to our showdown with the Cowboys. First up, David Ohabo. He was added to the injury report Thursday with a quad injury, which had some fans worried. But the good news is that Ohabo was spotted practicing today, at least during the part open to the media. He was limited yesterday, so it's looking promising that he might be ready for the Cowboys game. Now, onto the secondary. We've got rookie first-round cornerback Nate Wiggins, who's been out after that scary car accident last week. He was seen in a non-contact jersey, which means he's progressing through concussion protocol. Same goes for safety Kyle Hamilton, who's dealing with a back issue. Both were limited Thursday but were out there on the field today, which is a good sign for their availability. Getting Wiggins back would be a huge boost for our defense, especially with Dallas' passing attack led by Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. We'll need all the help we can get to shut down those explosive plays, and Wiggins could be a key part of that if he's cleared to play. On another note, rookie outside linebacker Adisa Isaac, who's been dealing with a hamstring injury, has been a full participant in practice all week. This could be the week we finally see him make his NFL debut. Adding him into the mix would be great for our pass rush depth, especially with Ohabo not at 100%. The only real absence today was guard Sal Almavelalu, who's been out all week for personal reasons. We're hoping everything is alright with him, but it's unclear if he'll be back in time for the game. If he's still out, it could complicate things a bit for our offensive line rotations. So, what do you think, Ravens fans? How big of an impact do you think Wiggins and Hamilton will make if they're good to go against the Cowboys? And how excited are you to potentially see Isaac in his first game? The Ravens might have found their long-term answer on the offensive line, and it's coming from a rookie that's starting to turn heads. Yes, we're talking about Roger Rosengarten, who's been getting some major praise after his performance against the Las Vegas Raiders. This isn't just any praise, it's coming from Chris Long, a two-time Super Bowl champion and former All-Pro defensive end. When a guy like Long is talking about your rookie tackle holding his own, you've got to pay attention. Now, let's be real. The Ravens' offensive line has been under the spotlight this season, and not in the best way. In the first two games, Baltimore gave up 20 pressures and 3 sacks. Not exactly the kind of start we were hoping for. The struggles were clear, especially when facing someone like Max Crosby, who was an absolute monster against us. Crosby, a two-time second-team All-Pro, recorded 2 sacks, 2 QB hits, and 3 pressures in that game alone. The offensive line had no answer for him, at least not until Rosengarten stepped onto the field. When Patrick McCrary came out and Rosengarten subbed in, things started to shift. Chris Long, who knows a thing or two about great pass rushers, couldn't help but notice. He mentioned how Rosengarten was actually holding his own against Crosby, which is no easy feat. Long said, Max Crosby lit that game on fire, but Rosengarten comes in, and I'm like, holy yes, is he blocking Max Crosby a little bit? That's some serious validation for a rookie stepping into the heat of battle. Let's not forget, Rosengarten didn't even play the majority of the game. McCrary took 47 snaps, while Rosengarten had just 18. But during those 18 snaps, he made a strong impression. Chris Long went on to point out that nothing catastrophic happened when Rosengarten was in the game. That's a pretty good sign when you're going up against one of the league's best pass rushers. This kind of performance has got to give Ravens fans some hope for the future of our offensive line. Rosengarten had a tough week 1, but his bounce back against Crosby shows real growth. And here's the exciting part. Things are only going to get more challenging as we head into week 3. The Dallas Cowboys are up next, and we're looking at facing Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, 2 of the top pass rushers in the NFL. If Rosengarten can hold up against Parsons, we might be talking about him as a potential starter moving forward. Now, let's talk strategy. The Ravens are currently 0-2. And we can't afford another loss. If Rosengarten continues to show promise, could we see him take on a bigger role on the offensive line? There's no doubt that the Ravens coaching staff will have to make some tough decisions, especially with Parsons and Lawrence coming after Lamar Jackson on Sunday. So, Ravens fans, what do you think? Should Roger Rosengarten get more playing time moving forward? Do you think he could be the key to stabilizing our offensive line and giving Lamar more time in the pocket? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you. And as always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for all the latest Ravens updates. Go Ravens!